Hello StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of Into the Void! This is a game between Prometheus and Thornrak on Apotheosis, the latter edition. In the top left side of the map, we have the red Protoss player. It is Prometheus, named after the guy that stole fire from the gods. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Protoss player. It is Thornrak. It sounds very Dungeons and Dragons to me. Maybe a dwarf warrior or something? Thornrak. Yes, I feel like that fits. Alright, so it's a PvP Into the Void. Usually I don't select mirror matches for Into the Void or Midnight Madness, but this one got a lot of votes from my screeners. And special thanks to all of those, including Dawn, Spence, Squeaks. Who else helps me out here? Hakon helps me out from time to time. Antonio. All you people, very much appreciated for going through all the replays that I get. And if you'd like to have a replay screened by my screeners, who are beautiful and talented, all of them, go ahead and send it to falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Into the Void. Make sure it is a Bronze or Silver League game that is interesting in some way. Whether it's a strange tactic or just you trying out something new, that's also good. But just don't send me something where you win in 5 minutes. It's just not very fun to watch those ones. So make sure it is an interesting match in some way. And again, make sure it's bronze or silver. Send it over. We'll get it screened, and the best ones will be cast. That's how this works every single week. Every week on Friday. Thornrak, it's a nice scout off. Actually notices the Forge first here, and there's no pylon. Okay, there's a pylon by Prometheus up by his natural base, and another pylon. Is he cannon defending here? Looks like he is. Meanwhile, Thornrak seems to know what he's doing a little bit better. He's got the 1-gate cybernetics core 2-gate double gas opening here. No expansion, which would be more standard and probably a little bit safer, but having noticed that Forge first thing, perhaps he's worried about cannon showing up at his front door or inside his base somewhere. I don't know that he's actually checked the corners of his base for probes, but that is something I would suggest. A pro tip of the day from Falcon Paladin. If you notice a Forge first from your opponent, just check these corners. These little areas of dark that you can't see. It's a great idea. Thornrak actually making sure an expansion can't come out from his opponent, which seems fine. And just double defensive cannons from Prometheus. Prometheus! No! This is not how we do things. You don't do defensive cannons. If you want defense, maybe put one cannon at your ramp, but this just, I mean, if your opponent DT rushes, this is probably fine, right? Like, you're going to want to have these cannons, but, I mean, otherwise, I can't think of a reason why you'd want them, especially not this early. Especially not this early. A DT rush cannot show up this early. Cybernetics core just finished. He'd have to get a Twilight Council and a Dark Shrine and warp in some DTs and get them up there. I mean, that's at least another 3 minutes or so. So, I mean, I appreciate the sentiment, but scout your opponent, see what they're doing, respond accordingly. Don't just blindly throw cannons up into your mineral line. I recommend against doing... This reminds me of how I used to play StarCraft 1. I used to do Protoss and do so many cannons in StarCraft 1 because they can shoot air, they can shoot ground, they're detectors, they're like the best units in the game, right? I mean, in some aspects, yes, they're very versatile that way. But I mean, in StarCraft 2 and even in StarCraft 1, you can drop units past them, you can just make them basically irrelevant to the match just by going around them a little bit. And also things do outrange them. Colossus outrange them, tanks outrange them, Broodlords outrange them. So every race has a unit that can siege these up and take them down without taking any damage from the cannons at all. So just keep that in mind before you throw up your mass cannon. Prometheus finally throwing down a Nexus. Nexus already completed for Thornrak at his bottom base here at the natural. Got 3 Stalkers out, which is good, and throwing up a Twilight Council and a Stargate is Thornrak. Alright, I like this opening. Warp Gate research has just now completed, immediately turning these gateways into warp gates. That's beautiful. 2 more gateways coming out. I have to say Thornrak probably has a bit more of an idea of what he's doing. And as I say every week, Into the Void is not about people who are terrible, because I'm not sure that truly people, like truly horrific StarCraft 2 players actually exist anymore. Back when StarCraft Wings of Liberty was a thing, yeah, it definitely was. People got the game, had no idea what they were doing, and hopped on ladder and just said, we'll figure this out. And it was hilarious, and it was crazy go nuts. But these days, I mean, these players have been playing for a while. I mean, hardly anybody's picking up StarCraft 2 that hasn't at least played it before or played StarCraft 1 before or had watched some videos or some tournaments, has a general concept of how to play their race. So you have things like this, where you do have the double gas. Yes, you got some cannons, but everything else looks pretty normal out of here for Prometheus. Although, we'll have to see what these double Stargates do for Thornrak before I speak about normality too much. Blink coming up for Thornrak too. Yeah, so I mean, Thornrak, the macro is struggling here. You'll notice income tab 29 to 37, which is not actually bad. 37 is pretty good for Thornrak, but only a couple stalkers. Although, if you notice your opponent has 100 cannons, maybe drone up, maybe probe up a ton, because they can't come get you. Cannons cannot move. Yeah, there are some videos from the alpha, like the pre-alpha of StarCraft 2, where there were phase cannons that can actually move to different locations. I think within the same pylon warp radius. I'm not sure if that's the case or not. But they could move. I mean, you have the cannons at the front, you could drop to the back, you just move the cannons to the back. No big deal. They definitely did not ever implement that in StarCraft 2. It never happened. But it was interesting. Actually, both players going Stargate here. I thought that was the case. Void Ray coming up from Thornrak from his 1 Stargate. And double Stargate, triple Stargate from Prometheus is also Void Ray. Oh, this could be like a Void Ray versus Void Ray battle. Thornrak is going Prometheus. Protoss Air Weapons 1 getting a 3rd base. Here is Thornrak at the gold, just north of his natural. But 3 pylons Focus, Falcon Paladin, you got this. 3 Void Rays at one time being made by Prometheus. No real upgrades, but that's okay. If you have that many more than your opponent, if you're out macroing them 3 to 1, I think you're going to be okay in the long run here. How are you making more cannons? More cannons! Prometheus is dead worried about stuff showing up in his main base uninvited. He has how many cannons right now? 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 cannons in 6 minutes seems crazy. I don't know how he actually has any workers at all. It's 41 to 44 harvesters. Thornrak has that lead, but it's not as big as it used to be. That 3rd base coming up for Thornrak is going to help immensely, though. It's going to help a whole ton. A fleet beacon from Thornrak? Yes. Yes, we're going to see carriers out of Thornrak. I'm so excited. Robotics facility here for Prometheus as well. +1 ground weapons being researched for Thornrak for all of his, like, 3 stalkers. Okay, he's got 5 stalkers now. 5 is good. There's a sneaky probe over here for Prometheus along the left side. Sitting at a base. Maybe going to go for some ninja stuff, but I don't know. I'll keep an eye on that. We'll try to keep an eye on that minimap for sure. Prometheus could be chrono boosting out these Void Rays, but is choosing not to do so. A little bit mineral starved, actually. How's this worker count? A little bit undersaturated at the natural base. Looking good in the main. Again, you should probably consider taking a 3rd base at the 7-minute mark unless crazy stuff has been happening. But if you've just been left alone, take a 3rd. Take a 3rd. 6-7-minute mark, you're going to be just fine. Unless, of course, all your defense is in cannons and you can't actually protect your 3rd base because you don't have any units to protect it. Okay, there are some Void Rays. I'm sorry, Prometheus. I spoke rashly. Ah, sneaky base over here. This is how Prometheus deals with that issue. This is what he does. He goes ahead and throws up a Nexus in a crazy secret place Thornrak will not look. And that way he doesn't really have to protect it. These cannons don't have to move. The cannons can stay here at the natural base and they're just fine. Graviton Catapult coming out for Thornrak, and there are definitely carriers in production. You can see the outline of the carrier as it gets warped in from Ire or Shakuris or wherever the homeworld of the Protoss is right now. I know I always say that, and then people are like, well, here's clearly the lore of StarCraft 2, but I will tell you something. I have 3 kids, and my brain cells are dying off more and more every day. They're just blorp, blorp, falling out of my head. Not regenerating, because that's what brain cells do not do, is regenerate. Alright, so Carrier versus Void Ray. I think I like Void Ray, especially if Prismatic Alignment is used, which realigns the Void Ray's Prismatic Beam to gain +6 damage versus armored units for 14 seconds. It's pretty great. Pretty great stuff there, Prometheus. Oh yeah, because, I mean, Colossus are armored. Obviously, we all knew that. We all knew that. Where are you, Carriers? You out yet? This is still the first one. Man, they take forever. Forever! You gotta chrono boost these, Thornrak. Where's your chrono boost right now? Where is it? Over here, getting +2 attack on a forge. That's fine, but man, Colossus. Carriers, so much time. So there it is, armored, mechanical, massive. Observer for Thornrak, finally going out at the 9-minute mark. It seems a little late to scout out your opponent, but hey, better late than never. Get out there, see what they're doing. Fleet Beacon from Prometheus, too. Is this Skytoss versus Skytoss? I'm so excited. No wonder this got so much support from my screeners. Robotic Spay coming out from Thornrak. Because I guess mix in Colossus while you're making carriers? Sure. Sure, why not? Prometheus is actually working on +1 air weapons as well as Protoss shields. That's good. I'm a fan of that shield upgrade. Fleet Beacon now finishing for Prometheus. Is he going to switch on over into carrier production? Doesn't have enough gas for it, unfortunately, and that's a mothership. That is a mothership coming in from Thornrak. Oh, man. Mothership, carrier, void raids, ton of stalkers. Who? I don't know. Who's going to come on top? This might be a no-rush 20-minute game. Did you ever play those? Did you ever play those back in the Brood War days on Battle.net? Where people would set up custom games and they'd call them No Rush 20, and if you rushed them, they got so mad. They got so... Not that I would know, not that I ever did that or anything. No, I was definitely not a giant troll on the Brood War Battle.net back when I was in college. Nope. That wasn't me. Not at all. Alright, so Prometheus' ninja base is still hidden. Still hidden from Thornrak. Has no idea that it is there. And I mean, I guess that's how Prometheus wants it. You can't really argue too much. Air weapons level 2 just about to complete here for the Thornrak gravitic boosters on the way. That increases the speed of warp prisms. Observers. That's the observers one. Gravitic drive does the warp prisms. They look the same, and they're both called gravitic. Whose idea was that? Whose idea was that? Tempest coming out from Thornrak. All right. All right. I like this. Tempest versus the carriers your opponent might actually have. Although, I don't know that Prometheus got any carriers. Prometheus, nope, 13 Void Rays and a Partridge in a Pear Tree, and that is it. That is all he has. 135 to 113 total supply. Thornrak, I think, has a better army. Although, if Prometheus can see the other units, and he should be able to since there are cannons everywhere. Is he long-distance mining from this gold base? Just put a Nexus down there, Prometheus. You have enough money. You've got about 1,000 minerals here. There it is. Wait. He just spent a ton of money on something. Oh, was it a mothership core? No. No, it wasn't. What? Oh, it's just making 5 Void Rays at a time. That would do it. That is a way to spend your money, Prometheus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Stargates off of 2. Okay, off of 3 bases. Off of 3 base, fully saturated simulators on that 3rd base. Thornrak taking another base here, a 4th and a 5th. His 5th is already up. Well, I guess his 4th is already up, and his 5th is now coming up. But yeah, taking the base just north of his main expansion and another base to the left of his natural. So it's nice and compact here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nobody too far away from anybody else. That is the nice thing about Apotheosis, is that experience. Cannons are now cloaked. Both players have motherships. Are they... I don't know. Do we think this is actually a ladder match, or do we think this is people just messing around and deciding what to do beforehand? That might be the case. It's just too weird they both got motherships, isn't it? Like, you wouldn't expect 2 players at low levels to get motherships and air at the same time. It's almost like a science experiment. Mass Void Ray versus Stalker Carrier. I mean, and by carrier, I mean 1 carrier. Colossus, because that's Extended Thermal Lance coming up from Thornrak. Extended Thermal Lance. Plus 3 ground weapons. That Stalker count is at 13, which is good, but I still don't think it's quite enough to deal with these Void Rays. Plus 2, let's see here. Plus 2 attack, plus 2 plasma shields, and plus 1 Protoss plating for Prometheus on those air units, and plus 2 attack, plus 1 plasma shields, and plus 2 Protoss plating for Thornrak. 4th base coming up for Prometheus along this right side, just to the right of his natural. He's not taking the gold, but he's been long distance mining from it for the last 10 minutes. Okay, not that long. Not that long, but still I am concerned. I'm concerned about that long distance mining. Really shouldn't long distance mine that long. Got some idle probes here inside the main base. Definitely make sure you're taking care of those if you can. And you always can. What am I talking about? You always can take care of your idle probes. There we go. 1 probe over here next to a Stargate. I assume that he warped it in, and he needs to get back to work too. There's a little icon in the top left here. See where I'm selecting? Boop, boop, boop. Right there that tells you if you have idle workers. Check it out from time to time. If you click on it, it will select all of them. You can tell them to do something, like saturate a new base, for example, as Prometheus is trying to do over at this place. Did I not select continuous music? Music, I need you. There it is. There's that music. All right, continuous music. So important. So important for these casts. Thornrak is taking a page out of his opponent's book and actually throwing up a ton of cannons around this 4th base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cannons. 6 of them. And I know I've said this before, but the thing about static defense that's kind of bad is they don't benefit from upgrades, except for shields for Protoss. They don't benefit from upgrades. And so as your opponent's attacking units get stronger and stronger thanks to their upgrades, static defense gets weaker and weaker, and eventually when your opponents are all sorts of maxed out on upgrades, a static defense does hardly anything. Does hardly anything whatsoever. Alright, so it's 15 minutes in. Is anybody going to attack? I've cast games that are this long and they're over by this point. Dark Shrine on the way for Thornrak. Hey, look, Prometheus was right. His opponent was going Dark Shrine just in 14 minutes from then. Protoss Air Weapons level 3 on the way for Prometheus. And carriers still coming out from Thornrak. Again, not chrono boosting them. They take forever. 86 seconds. That's as long as it takes to make a spire. Almost as long as it takes to make a spire. And it's just for one unit. More and more gateways coming up here. Robotics Bay just finished an upgrade. I think that was Extended Thermal Lance. Possibly that it was. Does he have any Colossus? He does. He has a single Colossus. Is Thornrak just trying to get one of everything? Oh, shoot. We're moving? Yay! We're going! All right. Protoss Army has some Phoenix in there. Has got observers. Mothership lagging behind everybody else. Let's see if we can follow this group. Maybe. Observers heading out to scout in advance to see what Prometheus is up to. Prometheus is actually maxed out with straight up 31 Void Rays and a Mothership. 31 Void Rays. That's insanity. All right. Warp Prism Colossus harassment being tempted here by Thornrak. What is going on? What is happening? Gonna go ahead and try to take out the space with a single Colossus while attacking and distracting the other way here. Oh, Colossus burning through. Big old warp into Stalker's Low, trying to deal with that thing. Thornrak, go. Move now while he's distracted. I mean, oh, that's a Thornrak warp in. Never mind, derp. Void Rays just melt those Stalkers using prismatic alignment. Maybe showing their hand a little bit too early there. But Thornrak does decide to retreat with that warp prism. And moving up with his army, trying to deal with this newly under construction fifth base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, fifth base by Prometheus. Should not last too long here. The Archon, oh my gosh, +3, +3, +2 on those ground units. Nexus does not get canceled. Prometheus, it probably should have canceled that. That's a pro tip of the day. If you have a base that's under construction and it is going to die, cancel it before it finishes. You get a bit of a refund. It can help you later on. Cannons trying to deal with these carriers. Carriers move out of the way. Void Rays come in. Mothership core dies immediately. And now here we go. Void Ray just trying to take down everything that they possibly can see. Are doing very well. Archon's dying. Stalker's dying. What? Tempest and everything. Carrier still alive temporarily and then gets burned down immediately. Whoa. Whoa. Mass Void Ray is pretty good. That was incredible. Prometheus with 26 Void Rays left over. Thornrak has 9 Templar. The end. 9 Templar. Worker count 57 to 70. Mothership is here for Prometheus as well. Go! Push! Move! End your opponent's life, Mass Void Ray. And now, I mean, Thornrak's going to go onto the Blizzard forums and say, Mass Void Ray is so overpowered. It is crazy overpowered. Of course, it's harder to say that in a mirror matchup and sound like people should take you seriously. But still, 6 Void Rays at a time from Prometheus. And Void Rays are just, they're leisurely taking their time, man. They're going to see what they can do here. More and more Templar coming out from Thornrak. Is he trying to go Archon? I mean, they don't take extra damage from the Void Rays. And they do splash damage. So maybe a Mass Archon play is good here. More Dark Templar. I think that's just going to be for Archons. No? Did they have Storm? They do have Storm. We're going to try to Mass Storm the crap out of these Void Rays. Oh, third base doesn't falling at the gold. Run. Storm. One Storm goes down. Another Storm goes down trying to get these Void Rays. They are clumped up very, very nicely. They're starting to die. Templar dying very quickly as well, though. Templar, get off more Storms. Do you have any Storms available? No! Oh, did not have any Storms available on these guys. Not enough energy. Void Rays, very low on health, but still a lot of DPS to their name. Trying to take down everything. A big old Storm. Gets one Storm off. Remaining Templar gets chased down by the Void Rays. Does manage to survive for another day. Void Rays burning down this 4th base. Burning down a 5th, 6th base that Thornrak is trying to go for. Nexus is falling all over. Bunch of dead workers, too. It is now 57 and 52 Harvesters, and Void Rays are not done yet. They're still trying to take this 4th base down. DTs inside Prometheus' sneaky base, though. Thornrak found it with his DTs, killing all of them. Their probes. Void Rays not quite sure what to do. Where should they go, they say. I don't know. Their shields are pretty much regenerated, so they're still hurt when it comes to their core, but otherwise they're not bad. Burning down pylons, making the cannons useless. That's what we like to see. And yeah, Prometheus has lost that base along the left side. Thornrak finally found it. Here come the Void Rays, though. They want blood. They can smell blood in the water. Stalker's trying to kill him, trying to kite as best they can, but that prismatic alignment hits so hard. And then like cats, the Void Rays are scattering to the wind. Nope, now they're focusing. Focusing on pylons, robotics facilities, cannons, gateways. The Stalkers can do nothing. They can do nothing but watch from afar as the Void Rays taking down pylons, getting rid of gateways here too. Production facilities for Thornrak are suffering immensely right now. Prometheus continuing to make Void Rays. And here come the Stalkers again from this back side. Is there a prismatic alignment available? There's not one yet, but I don't think it really matters. They already do bonus damage versus armored. See that? 13 damage versus armored. Weapon speed 0.36. Void Rays getting rid of pylons. Enough to supply block. Thornrak, no, but taking down that supply number. Phoenix trying to do stuff. Another big storm walking through it is Prometheus. There's that prismatic alignment. Stalker count getting really low right now. Trying to draw him back into the cannons and the storm, and actually not doing too bad. The combination of cannon, storm, and Stalker actually taking this Void Ray count down quite a bit, but the Nexus fault. Why were you focusing on the Nexus there? Ah, Prometheus, you had this battle, but you focused on the Nexus. Yes, you took it down, but you lost your army. So basically, Thornrak is reduced to long-distance mining from his 4th base all the way around again, up his ramp to his main. That's his final Nexus. Prometheus is still making Void Rays, though, and yeah, they're still coming through. He's still got 14 of them in the air. The Stalkers and the Archons trying to clean them out and actually doing a good job. The Void Rays were not clumped together as they were previously. Where are the rest of them? Here they are. Here they are. Replanting or reestablishing this base is Prometheus along the left side, reestablishing the one that died under construction just to the left and down from his main base as well, Prometheus. And I don't know, I think I still have my money on Prometheus. This mass Void Ray thing seems to be pretty good. There's just not a lot here for Thornrak. Does he have any more Templar is the question. He does not have any more Templar. Can he make any more? He has the Templar or the Twilight Council. Does he have a Templar Archives? Let's take a look. He does. He could make some more Templar if he wanted. He's not really choosing to. However, moving up to take up Sneaky Ninja Base. Prometheus going to lose this base again. I mean, he didn't lose the Nexus, but he lost all the workers, and now he's going to lose them for a second time. 31 workers killed by Prometheus, 26 by Thornrak. 38 to 39 harvesters. Resources lost, 28,500 by Thornrak and 16,300 by Prometheus. So Prometheus being cost efficient here, but needs something to burn down this army of Zealot, Archon, Stalker with +3, +3, +2 upgrades, the 2 being the regular type armor. More cannons coming up from Prometheus. No! Alright, Prometheus has 4,000 minerals. You know what? Make all the cannons you want, Prometheus. At this point, it doesn't really matter. You're having a hard time spending your money anyway. Long-distance mining probes getting killed. They just want a long-distance mine from this gold base, you jerks. Cannons all over the place. Void Ray count a little bit higher than Thornrak may have estimated. A little bit more than he may have counted on. And Prometheus not giving chase. Why are you not giving chase? You have so many Void Rays. 23 of them versus 7 Stalkers and 3 Archons. Prometheus, you got this thing. Go in for the kill. You're letting Thornrak rebuild his bases. He's rebuilding the one. The 6th along this left side, kind of northish. I don't know. Hard to explain that location for those of you who are listening, but I am doing my best. And yeah, Thornrak goes all the way back home. All the way back home. He has replanted the base, this 5th base here that got destroyed, where all those Void Rays died. So that's a happy mining spot for Thornrak, but there are just too many bases for Prometheus right now. He's got 2 mining bases. I guess it's basically 2 to 2 at this moment. Thornrak is not producing anything right now, though. He's very gas-starved. He needs to get workers on those assimilators as soon as possible. And he did. He did a nice job of that. So nice job, Thornrak. APM for these players. 27 on average for Prometheus. And 62 for Thornrak. 27 APM. I guess he's just been sitting around a lot just making Void Rays, which doesn't take a lot of actions per minute. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Anyway. Fully upgraded are these Void Rays. +3, +3, +3. Just terrible. Just terrible to see in the sky if they're coming for you. What you got, Thornrak? Make stuff, dude. Alright, he's making more Templar. That's good. He's warping in Templar, which doesn't show up long in the production tab, so if you're not watching it, you're going to miss it. Making another Nexus, replacing yet another one that was killed along this bottom left corner. So both players are back up to fairly good base count. 4 Nexus for Prometheus and 3 for Thornrak. Although one more in production for Thornrak will bring him up to his opponent's equal. Is Prometheus just trying to max out on Void Ray? Is that what this is? He's up to 168 supply versus 124 for Thornrak. Triple pumping Void Rays. Spending his gas pretty well. Having a hard time with his minerals still, but only has 2,000 compared to the 4 he had earlier. So he's spending it on cannons, it looks like. How many cannons does he have now? 26. He's got 26 cannons to his name. Thornrak says, I can't let Prometheus rebuild. I can't let him do it. So we're going to move up along this left side, try to kill this base off of Prometheus's, maybe starve him out if you can. Thornrak doesn't have the composition. Unless these storms are great and Prometheus does nothing to move out of them, which, in fairness, he has shown recently here, just the inability to completely move out of the way. And Thornrak actually heading back home. Thornrak, what? Why are you going back home? You're a crazy person. Thornrak. The camera is trying to keep up with all this stuff. Okay, Prometheus basically maxed out. 196 out of 200 total supply. 3 Void Rays on the way, and we are at something. Okay, that actually does already... Oh, I forgot. Dang it. Not maxed out yet. And Thornrak's just basically checking for extra bases is what he's doing. Trying to see if Prometheus has any nexuses he doesn't know about. And he doesn't. I mean, well, I guess he doesn't know that this one was rebuilt. Are you serious? Thornrak doesn't know that this base along the left side, just south of the natural, or the main base, was rebuilt. Huh. Go figure. Void Rays flying around, trying to see what they can see, waiting for that mothership to catch up. Phoenix gonna scout it, maybe? I don't know if the Phoenix scouted that. Here comes Thornrak. He's got his... Oh, he's got his Templar. Do not lose the Templar. Do not lose the Templar. Remember what I said about not losing the Templar? Lost so many Templar. Yeah, Storms came out. Pretty good dodge there by Prometheus, though. It's 196 to 136 total supply. Cloaked Void Ray. Not a good start to your day, I would say here. Assimilator gonna die. Not on attack move are these Void Rays, strangely enough. Newly reconstructed 5th base is going to die here for Thornrak. There's just not much that he can do. Where's his army? Where is it? Here it is, coming up in all of its glory with the Zealots leading the charge, maybe hoping to absorb some damage. The Archons evaporating immediately. Where are the Templar? There are the Templar. There's one down there, but it dies immediately here. Prometheus, there is a storm available, but it's not enough to even take the Void Rays down to half health. Running away desperately here is Thornrak, and that's it. Thornrak has left the game. Prometheus is victorious, getting a win for Protoss today. I guess since it's Protoss versus Protoss, that is exactly what happened. Whew! All right, so that was an interesting game. I mean, it just shows the power of Mass Void Ray at these lower levels. It really does. I mean, this is where noobs complain that Mass Void Rays are insane, because they're good. They are really good. Unless your opponent knows what they're doing, in which case they are actually pretty bad. I mean, Mass Stalker would have dealt with this fairly well. Again, I love the Storms. The Storm was a great choice. The Zealots were a terrible choice. I don't know why there were Zealots. I suppose Thornrak was just trying to get some mineral sink here, but not enough. The Void or the Archon choice wasn't bad either. The splash damage, again, not taking extra damage from the Void Rays was pretty good. But in the end, Mass Void Ray, just too much for Thornrak to handle, and Prometheus gets that W. All right, so that's it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another weekly edition of Into the Void. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter and Facebook and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself. Patrons! Nicholas Cheek, Sean Govin, Nick Riley, Josh Cornelius, Jin, Robert Farmer, KN, Matt Meermans, Hakon Marcus, Christopher, Alex Coffey, Ben Raboyne, 19 Day, Kith Carlo, Alexander Canaras, Complex, Ian Westbrook, Michael McIntosh, Sam Estagoy, Bo Brissett, Kale Anderson, Trevor Smith, Menhadin, GMP, Sik Kupada, Pedro Batsaris, Michael Wellen, Plaid, Henry Cooper, Clayton Knight, Jan Kodera, Kevin Chang, Raji Bhatt, link at the top right. Thank you. Bye.
Broken and ashamed by what you have done. There is no redemption. and so you must run. And it's taken your heart and broken your soul. You cannot go back until you're made whole. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, there's a light upon you, and you follow it on, looking for a reason and a way to atone. All around you, the planets and stars. You're lost in a maelstrom of a great new unknown. And you're running into the void. You go searching into the void to find a place you can live, a place you can love. Is it just an illusion? When push comes to shove, and you're running into the void. You go searching into the void. And you're running into the void.